Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Jordan Cameron back with another video today as we once again talk about the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the biggest bubble pop in crypto history that follows the massive move to the upside. Your your impatience will be what will move this market up higher. So let's talk about it today. Hope everyone out there is having a fantastic day. Obviously, guys, our thesis still remains that we are going to see the biggest blow off top in crypto history. Okay. And everything is playing out perfectly, man. You guys can see the pessimism. Okay. Everyone's talking about how the rate cuts, will be a sell the news event. And, why I don't believe that the rate cuts will be the reason that the market explodes, okay? And actually later will be the reason why the market implodes, which we'll talk about, in further videos as we kind of get along this blow off top, okay? The sentiment is, by the rumor, sell the news. And why it may be that short term, that does not change anything for our bigger thesis of why we're expecting the crypto total currency market cap to go up to the 4236 Fibonacci level, to go to that 10 trillion level, and go to the top of our bigger macro rising wedge. Okay. And everything is playing out as we kind of expected over the last few weeks. Okay, what we've seen is we've seen Bitcoin, just like in every single consolidation that it's had in this bull market, simply just come back down and retest the previous tops perfectly and get a rise back up off those, just like we saw back over here in 2020 or early 2025, right? We retested these tops and continued higher, just like we saw in 2024. We retested these tops and we pushed higher, right? And just like we saw back in 2023, right? We retested these tops and we pushed higher every single time, just a constant retest of the highs before we push higher. And to put that together, we come over here on the total market cap chart. And once again, what did we do? We came back down. This was our previous all-time high on the total market cap chart, okay? Which we already retested the 2021 all-time highs. But what do? We come back down, retest the December 2024 all-time highs. And now you guys can see that total market cap of crypto is getting awfully close. And actually last week, we had the highest weekly close of all time on the cryptocurrency market cap. I know it doesn't feel like that. And it doesn't look like that around the parts as everyone's kind of bored and annoyed. We actually had the highest weekly close for the crypto total currency market cap just last week. It looks like we're going to be going for it again. And right now we are only, once again, about 4.5% away from the highest prices that we've ever seen on the crypto total currency market cap. And I believe that this is just going to start heating up, guys. I think what we've seen now is a kind of a slow and methodical rise, just kind of hugging the bottom of this sort of rising wedge. But what I think is going to come over these next few months, as I've discussed, is I think this is going to get much more parabolic, and we're actually going to come up and test close to the top of this rising wedge, sort of the typical 4-year cycle, which actually leads us to the end of sort of this first cryptocurrency cycle. And it's going to get crazy, right? And then I'm going to explain to you guys why on the charts today, including on the stablecoin dominance chart, including on our Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoin dominance chart, right? Including on our total market cap charts, right? Our Bitcoin chart, and put everything kind of together, right? And obviously our global liquidity chart, which is moving up again. I'm going to show you guys why, and just put a big thesis together of why I think this market is about to go haywire, okay? So, for anyone that's new, right, we have a couple different reasons of why we believed since the tariff lows, which was the March and April 2025 lows when everyone was super scared, right? We said that was the time to be bullish, and that we're expecting Bitcoin and the crypto total currency market cap to, right, push into new all-time highs, which we did, right? We saw Bitcoin push into new all-time highs, and we also saw the total cryptocurrency market cap push into new all-time highs. And what we're expecting is, right, that this really, total market cap chart has sort of been forming a rising wedge, and which is a bearish pattern at the end of the day. Since about 2017, right? I had this cycle. We made a top, we had a bear market, right? Made another top, bear market, and what we're expecting is another top up at the 4236 Fibonacci at the top of this rising wedge, right? Which obviously, if you guys know anything about macro patterns, we would expect this to break to the downside. Now, the biggest reason we've expected that, right, is over here on the stablecoin dominance chart, right, which has been our leading indicator, which has been our compass throughout all the BS, right, throughout all the tariff BS, throughout all the war BS, throughout all the inflation rising again BS. We've said we are going to ignore any bad news that comes out until we get stablecoin dominance to come back down to 4.91%, simply because this is a simple range and we play the range until it does not work. Okay, so when we were up here at the tariff lows at 8.8%, we said, okay, it's probably going to bottom here, right? Because this is a significant point in the chart where we've seen multiple rejections. And we're going to simply think that the total currency market cap is going to have a blow off top until we at least reach 4.91% on the stablecoin dominance, right? Which for this is the USDC and USDT dominance, okay? But overall, what we are expecting is this move down until we get to 4.91%, right? A move down on stablecoin dominance, right, would simply inherit a massive move up on total market cap. And that is exactly what we've seen, right? We've seen a move up on total cryptocurrency market cap since March, right? And we've seen a move down on stablecoin dominance. So what we are going to continue to expect is this to continue to move down. We just talked about how last week we finally got a breakdown on the daily, right? Which every time we've seen this, right, we got a massive move up here in April and May. We got a massive move up here in June and July. And now we're expecting our next leg up, right, over the course of September and October, possibly November, right, for our final leg to the upside over these next few months. Okay, now as this moves down, we're just going to continue to expect that total market cap is going to continue to put in new all-time highs after new all-time highs after new all-time highs, despite what people think. We are not going to go based off feelings. We're not going to go based off news events. We're not going to go based off rate cuts. We're not going to go based off Powell. We don't care about that stuff. That's going to be the things that's going to be all over the news tomorrow during the FOMC. We do not care about those things. We are focused on the chart on this channel. We do not care about news, right? So until we get to 4.91%, I don't care what the news is. I don't care what the rate cuts are. I don't care if we cut by 50 basis points, 25 basis points. We don't cut. I am bullish until we get to 4.91% on the stablecoin dominance chart. Simple as that. Simple as pie. Do not make it too crazy, okay? Do not make it too, don't listen to all this shit, okay? Excuse my language. We are bullish until we get to 4.91% on dominance. Until then, right, we are expecting this to be a Wyckoff accumulation chart, which if you know anything about Wyckoff accumulation, it's two lows. We came down, make the euphoric low, right, which would be, the bulls calling for a super cycle on crypto, right, which would be up here when everyone's saying crypto will change the world, when we're at 10 trillion, right, when we have all the altcoins flying up, when we have Bitcoin at higher prices, Ethereum at all-time highs, XRP at all-time highs, Doge all-time highs, when everyone's calling for a super cycle on crypto, crypto will change the world, your uncle mowing the lawn and listening to crypto podcasts at the same time, we are going to be sellers on this channel because we're going to see stablecoin dominance at 4.91%, or slightly lower, but what we ultimately are expecting is this to shoot back to the upside, right? Because of something that will happen at that time. We don't know what it is now. We're not going to try to guess what is going to happen up here, right? My guess is the economy will weaken, something like that, but it is what it is. I don't think that's going to happen now. We'll talk about that when we get there, okay? But, okay, we are expecting stablecoin dominance to then shoot to the upside, which would then cause our total cryptocurrency market cap to absolutely crater. Now, we'll talk about that in the future. People will disagree with that. And I think the higher this chart goes, people will continue to disagree with that more. There's going to be bullish narratives up the wazoo over these next couple months, in my personal opinion, that are going to be trapping people at the highs, just like people got trapped in 2021, just like people got trapped in 2017. You're going to see those same people trapped up here at the 4236 Fibonacci again, right? They're going to fall for it again. Why? Because rate cuts, right? Money printing. That's going to get everyone sucked in. It's going to get everyone sucked in. but they're not understanding the reasons that we're seeing rate cuts is probably because the economy is weakening, right? We'll talk about that as we go over the next few months. Do not get sucked into the rate cut money print narrative, okay? Now, right now you can, right? But don't get sucked into that if this market goes absolutely parabolic. Make sure you're taking profits on the way up. Now, right, we talked about our stablecoin dominance chart. That's the big reason why we think the market's going higher. The other major reason why we think the market's going higher is simply because over here at our global liquidity chart, right? If we take a look, we had a little pause here for, we talked about in the middle of September, we might kind of pause out, right? End of September might kind of pause out, but you can see that global liquidity is now popping back off, okay? And this continues to pop off. Another indicator of, we know Bitcoin typically follows global liquidity. I think it is going to continue to follow global liquidity. And we have a massive, absolutely massive catch up to do on Bitcoin versus global liquidity. Okay. So we put together our stablecoin dominance chart. We look at global liquidity continuing to make new highs, right? Suggests to me that we have the crypto market that's going to absolutely pop off. Now, I've said this many, many times. I think if you want to get our crypto market up to 10 trillion, it can't just be Bitcoin, right? It's got to be the altcoins showing some life. And I do believe if we just, right, we take away our opinions, we take away our thoughts, we take away what we think about altcoins. I'm a big Bitcoin believer. Bitcoin's my biggest holding, yet I do believe that altcoins will continue to outperform Bitcoin for the rest of the cycle. And it's a simple chart, right? A very simple chart. We're not making anything too crazy here. We take a look at our Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance, and stablecoin dominance chart, right? So this is basically showing the dominance of all the safety stuff, right? When people are scared, right? When people aren't that, enthusiastic about the market, right? They're going in Bitcoin, they're going in stablecoins, and, they're going in ETH, right? They're going the big cap or stables, okay? And this chart suggests to me that we had a massive uptrend since 2021 all the way till the beginning of 2025 on this chart, okay? But something changed, okay, right around the election, okay? And what you'll notice is this uptrend that was formed, okay, since 2024 broke to the downside right here, right around the election, okay? And you guys can see we broke down, we came back up, we've tried to get back above that trend line, and it's been a rejection after rejection after rejection. And now we're starting to see that move down again. If you also notice that this level, okay, around about 82%, has been massive resistance for years, right? Dating back to all the way 2018, okay? We had one little deviation above, okay? That was a crazy time. But you guys can see we've broken down, we've came back up bearishly retested, and we're starting to move down again. My personal opinion is this, that we're going to see this chart reach all the way back down to 63%. Now, what does that mean? If we see the dominance of ETH, the dominance of Bitcoin, the dominance of stablecoins move down, that money is flowing into other assets, right? That's flowing into the other altcoins other than ETH and stablecoins. Okay, and obviously Bitcoin dominance going down. So my chart, okay, not my feelings, not my beliefs. Okay, well, it is my belief, but not what I want to happen necessarily, right? I'll be fine with Bitcoin just continuing up. It's easy play, right? But my belief is that altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin, and they've been outperforming Bitcoin since June. It's going to continue to drop, right? Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to drop, and ultimately Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance, and stablecoin dominance is going to absolutely plummet here over the next few months down to, right, where we've seen lows in 2019, where we've seen lows in 2021. I think we see it come back down to the bottom of this range, right? Simply playing ranges on charts can sometimes be the best outcome, as shown over here on the stablecoin dominance chart, okay? So, right, we put everything together. We have our thesis of the biggest blow-off top in crypto history. We have our reasons why: stablecoin dominance going down, global liquidity continuing up, and Bitcoin continuing to following that. And then we take a look at our safety, right, our Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoin dominance chart, showing weakness, showing rejection, which I think is going to continue down. We have the recipe when we go over here to our total 3 chart of our 3 rising valleys, the same rising wedge that we see on the total market cap chart, okay? We have our total 3 ES chart, which is everything besides Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoins. Again, just showing the absolute perfect setup for finally breaking through all-time highs, having our parabolic run, okay, as we saw in 2017, as we saw in 2021, up to the top of its rising wedge, right? Somewhere in the, 2 to 4 trillion, right? I'd say, 2 to 3 trillion range, right? Up to the top of its rising wedge before ultimately it crumbles down, as we'll talk about. But the structure is there, right? The higher lows, okay, the 3 higher lows off the bottom of the rising wedge. The structure is there, and everything, like I said, stablecoin dominance, Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoin dominance, okay? Global liquidity, our rising wedge charts, and even just Bitcoin backtesting its previous high is pointing to this market continuing up. And your impatience, like I said in the beginning of this video, your impatience is what is going to fuel this move higher. Okay, you're going to be trying to get out, get back in, get out, get back in, but the market's just going to keep making higher lows. And you trying to get out, get back in, get out, get back in, it's ultimately just giving money to the whales to be able to just push this market higher. And while you're not making anything, just continuing to buy higher, market goes down a little bit, you sell, right? Whale buys, market goes higher, right? You're like, oh my God, I got to get back in. Market goes down, makes a higher low. You're like, oh shit, I got to get out. It's over. Just a higher low. Market pushes higher. You FOMO in again. Just the same thing until everyone believes. And you guys can look around. Anyone you guys are in this market right now, I don't see the sense of euphoria. I don't see the sense of urgency in the world to get into the cryptocurrency market. I don't see the narratives. I don't see my uncle and cousin asking me about crypto, right? They all know I have a channel, okay? None of them ask me about crypto right now. The top's not in until they start asking me about crypto. The top's not in until they start saying, wow, Jordan, you got in that early. Holy crap, man. I haven't heard any of that. Despite Bitcoin at 116,000, despite ETH at hitting all-time highs, I haven't heard any of that yet. So everything is pointing to, guys, this market going nuts, okay? Now, we have in our validation, which every week moves higher. Our validation now is at 98,000, okay? So simply, we are bulls unless Bitcoin breaks below the bull market, well, not the bull market support band, but our 50 moving average band, which we've said has been the low in every single Bitcoin pullback since this bull market started. And any time it's broken in the past to the downside has been the time that it's since the bull market was over, right? It was time to get out. So, like I said, right now that is at a price of 98,000, right? We have our 50 EMA and our 50 SMA, both are right around 98,000. Unless Bitcoin breaks below that, we continue to be bullish. And we continue to look for our thesis to play out at the biggest blow off top in crypto history, followed by the bubble pop of 2026, 2027. All right. So it's been your boy, Jordan Cameron. Thank you for coming and watching the video, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the journey, guys. Join the journey of this, right? Join the journey. Be on team winning of the team that's going to be winning as this market goes up, and us continuing to harp as this market continues to go up. Make sure you guys are taking profits. We're not going to be the channel that's hyping you, getting you to buy coins as this market already pumps. Okay? Join the journey. Subscribe to the channel. Hit those notifications. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.